Hey folks, Deano here again. This time take a look at another Dragon Stars figure. This one I am a bit late on. He released last year. This is Super Yi-Shinron. Dragon Stars, did you have a stroke trying to make that? Yeah, I am not entirely sure if that name is like the direct translation of this guy or not. If it is, that is bonkers, and I have no idea why Dragon Stars decided that was the name they should have gone with. Like, considering the fact they've just used the English translation from the anime for pretty much every other release. Like, spoilers, I also have Beerus here to review. He will either go up before or after this guy, I've not decided yet. But yeah, his name is Beerus. They got that one right. And yet his direct translation is Bills. Like, I have no idea what they were thinking with this guy. But yeah, to everyone who knows this guy, this is Omega Shenron from Dragonball GT. He is basically the final boss of the entire Dragon Ball saga at the time. No longer canon now, unfortunately. It's debatable if he ever was, whether GT ever was canon or not, but with things that happen in Super, definitely not now. But yeah, I basically decided to get this guy. Well, he was a Christmas present for one, but I decided I wanted this guy purely because I know Super 17 is coming from Figuarts. Eventually, for me, you know how it is with official figures and me with Figuarts. They don't tend to come in a timely manner. But yeah, I thought I'd get this guy. I'll probably get Super Baby at some point as well, just to round out the roster of GT villains. But yeah, suffice to say, I am not best pleased with this guy. Let's put it that way. But yeah, let's take a look at the box. So yeah, in terms of the box, it's your standard Dragon Stars packaging. What is there to say really about this? It's always like almost identical. You have the Dragon Stars logo down here. Does it actually say what series it's from? It just says Dragon Stars series on this. Yeah, I think the Dragon Stars line as a whole is sort of like winding down, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, they don't release anywhere near as many figures as they used to. You used to get entire waves of these. Now you're lucky if you get a few a year. But yeah, you'd think quality control would go up with that being the case, but oh no. We have Super Yi-Shinron, Omega Shenron, the Dragon Ball Super logo up the top, Dragon Star series up there, Choking Hazard, Bandai logo, decent artwork on the side. It's not from GT or anything, looks like they've just done that themselves. And one of the most horrendously posed pictures I have ever seen on the back. Why are his legs like that? I don't know. I give up. Made in China, manufactured for Bandai Namco Toys and Collectibles America. So it's made in China, but it's American toys. We've got the UK stamp approval, not 3 sad onions. When was this made? Yeah, 2023. This released. So yeah, coming up on 2 years old at this point. I am definitely late. But yeah, as I said before, not much to speak of with the box. Somehow they managed to fit this guy in at the same size of box as Beerus, which is weird, but I suppose they're saving on packaging. Let's take a look at his accessories. So yeah, unfortunately standard with the Dragon Stars line, unless you buy a power-up pack. But yeah, the 2 sets of hands, 1 set is on him in the packaging, usually the fists. For some reason this time it wasn't. It was the open palm hands, which made it an absolute nightmare to get out of the package. But yeah, at least they painted the spikes, which is more than can be said for Beerus's nails, claws. I don't know what you would call them. But yeah, does he have black nails? Did they really paint the spikes on his hand and then forget the rest? But yeah, standard sort of Dragon Star's hands. They are a bit chunky compared to Figuarts, although they use a similar peg system to get the hands on and off. But yeah, that is your whack for accessories in this guy. So yeah, let's bring in the figure now. So yeah, in terms of Omega Shenron as a figure itself, it looks good. I will give them that. But unfortunately, at least on my copy, it is an absolute floppy mess. Like, the spikes coming off his back as well. Come on. Which bit did these go in? Yeah, that is something you will have to deal with. The spikes on his back are, oh my god, these are just falling off. Yeah, the spikes on his back actually come in a separate part of the packaging behind the figure itself, and they do not click in place. They are rubber, obviously because they're spikes. This is a more, like, I almost want to say kid orientated line, but with how horrendous some of the QC on this guy is, I wouldn't recommend it for kids. Again, that might just be my copy, but yeah, his left or right arm is completely loose. From there to there is no friction whatsoever. To get any friction whatsoever, you have to push it forward a bit. The hips are quite loose. They can't really hold up his legs whatsoever. And the feet, I have actually had to swivel the ball peg in the feet to the side just to stop him from toppling over, because the side to side on this guy is, like, the tolerances are so bad, it's pretty much free swivel. So yeah, I think people can see where I'm going with my recommendation of this guy. Obviously, link will be in the description to purchase him from Amazon if you absolutely need him, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to recommend him somehow. But yeah, he is an incredibly beefy figure. Like, if I bring in Super Saiyan 4 Goku here, like, this is the demoniacal fit version, and he still, like, towers over him, which I would say is pretty good scale-wise. Omega Shenron was quite a big, beefy character in the anime of Dragon Ball GT. So at least they got that right. But yeah, the QC on this guy is not the best. It really isn't. In terms of details, he's not got any shading on him to speak of. I may go in with, like, a panel liner and give this guy some depth, because, like Cooler, and spoilers, I did do the same to Cooler, I gave him some panel lining, there's quite a lot of actual sculpted detail on this guy, like with his pecs and his muscle mass and things like that. It's just not been given a wash, like a dark wash, which would really sort of propel this figure. Like, the head looks so plain just because they haven't done that. I get that it would probably put the prices up and things like that, but when you've got companies like Demoniacal Fit, or even CT Toys, for example, pretty much, like, CT Toys in particular, cost the exact same price, if a bit cheaper, than what Dragon Stars charges for their figures, and theirs have quality that rivals Figure Arts, frankly. It has shading, it has paint apps, you name it. Anyone who's seen my recent Wolverine review will attest to that. Like, I just don't know how Bandai can justify this, like putting the figure out like this when they could make it look so much better. Like, I know it's marketed for kids, or so they say. Like, we all know collectors are the ones getting these to fill holes in the displays. Like, these aren't really kids' toys at all, even if Bandai says they are. But yeah, I just don't know how they can justify the price when you've got companies like CT Toys out there doing far better job for less money. But yeah, overall, like, I think the blues are actually separate pieces, except on the head. I think that's painted up there. But yeah, I think the ab section, this bit's painted down here, but I think the ab section and the shoulders and the neck are all like sculpted blue plastic. So yeah, the spikes on him are not sharp. I wouldn't really expect them to be, since they're marketing this for kids. They are also rubbery plastic. So yeah, I would still like absolutely recommend gluing these spikes at the back though, if you do get this guy. Because yeah, they're going to be the bane of my existence. Like, these are popping out and I've not even touched them. Not entirely sure why they couldn't just have them glued in like they did with the forearm spikes or the shoulder spikes, but hey-oh. By far the best part of this figure is the Dragon Balls. They are all like a separate sculpt. I think it was just a piece that they have slotted in from the inside of the chest. They look good. Are they the right colour? Not really. The Dragon Balls are like, well, the fractured Dragon Balls anyway are more like a dark blue with cracks on them. These don't have the cracks, but I mean, because they are a separate sculpt, I can let them off with it, really. Like, it still looks nice from a distance. There goes that arm again. But yeah, overall, details are lacking a bit. Can you expect more from a 20 quid figure? Maybe. I'll leave you guys to debate that in the comments. But the paint apps that are here are applied cleanly. And yeah, just wish there were more. In terms of articulation, this guy is a bit weird. The ball peg that goes into the head actually goes in from the front. It's a bit strange, but it can go up that much, can go down that much, although that is including the neck movement. There is a little bit of movement in the neck, but because it's at an angle, it's strange in the way it works. But there is a ball peg into the head, so you can make use of that as you will. The arms can pop up that much in total. They can swivel, although be careful of this one because it's free floating. No butterfly joint to speak of, so that is literally your whack for articulation forwards. Bicep swivel, that's a come on, stay in. Get bicep swivel, which is actually tighter than the joint at the forearm, which is a bit annoying. Double joint at the elbow, but it really just acts like a poor single joint. That's as much as you can get, and that's me fiddling with it. So yeah, bit disappointing there. Figure art style ball hinge at the wrist. No movement at the upper abs. You do get movement at the waist though. you get a lot of pivot and swivel. That does pop in and out for some extra movement, although that joint is quite loose, so I'm keeping that down. That's just a swivel in my opinion. We have 1.0 figure art style hips, but the tolerances are way off. The tightness of the hip joints is actually tighter than the legs themselves, so you pop one in and one pops out, and vice versa. So you really have to hold one as you pop the other up to get them right in there. It's a bit annoying. Thigh rotation hidden there. You can kick up that much normally. You pull down the legs and you can kick up a little bit more, although that joint can't really hold up the weight of this figure. I've just popped off another spike. Oh, I'm definitely going to glue these. I have decided that I don't care anymore. Like, if he's going on my display, he's going on in a way I want him to. I can't even get this on the right way now. Come on, which way did it go on? Nope, not that way. Sorry about this, folks. Does it go on? Okay, there we go. Do not pop back out. I swear, if you pop out again, I'm just leaving you. They're all just popping out without me even touching them. Like, honestly. Double joint at the knee. The feet are on a ball hinge. They can get some side to side if you move the ball joint the way I have. You can kind of move the ball joint out and get some more range, but look how floppy that is. I would not recommend it. So yeah, overall guys, like, I am just disappointed. Like, I was really hoping that this guy would be better than he actually is. He needs a lot of work to be worthy of a figure arts display. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, overall guys, like, it's really up to yourself. He is only 20 quid, like I said, but do you really need an Omega Shenron that badly when figure arts may be making one on the horizon? I mean, they've done Super 17, they've still to do Baby, which I think is coming after they get, like, Pan out. I know GT Trunks is on the way. At least for me, that should be coming by the end of January. I know it's already been out like a month or so in Japan and such, but yeah, I think once they get Pan out to people, they'll then do Super Baby to complete that arc, and then we'll get Gogeta and Omega, and maybe a Sin Shenron, since it's pretty much the same figure with slightly different position of the Dragonball. Is on his forehead instead. He doesn't have the back spikes, I believe. Yeah, I'm actually surprised like how different Sin Shenron is to Omega. I really just assumed he moved the Dragonball to his chest and added the rest of them. But no, completely different looking character. But yeah, I hope we get that. I hope we get Nova, maybe Ice. I can see Ice being an exclusive because he's just a recolor of Nova. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Is this guy worth it or not? Leave a like if you enjoyed. And until next time, guys, I'll see y'all later.